accounts of the Office of the Prime Minister for the financial year ended 31st March 2024, Ministry of Urban and Rural Development for the financial year ended 31st March 2024, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Tourism for the financial year ended 31st March 2024, Municipality of Ojiwarongo for the financial year ended 30 June 2024, National Youth Service for the financial years ended 31st March 2022, 2023 and 2024. Education Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st March 2024. Regional Council for Commerce Region for the financial years ended 31st March 2021, 2022 and 2023. Village Council, of course, for the financial year ended 30 June 2022 and 2023. Land Acquisition and Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st March 2024. Marine Resource Fund for the financial years ended 31st March 2022 and 2023. Town Council for Kure Region, whole. You see, Town Council for Kure is what they wrote. Yeah, it's a town, eh? For the financial year ended 30 June 2024. Town Council for Kakarara, I have corrected it because it's wrongly spelled. Town Council for Kakarara for the financial years ended 30 June 2022. Regional Council for Musati Region for the financial year ended 31st March 2024. Town Council for Shikuku for the financial year ended 30 June 2023. Town Council for Shikuku for the financial year ended 30 June 2022. And Witness Protection Unit for the financial year ended 31st March 2024. I so move, Honourable Speaker.
Yes, the Honourable Minister may now table the report. Yeah, any further reports and papers? Notices of questions? Honorable Venani? Oh, okay. Honorable Amtse?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Mine is on a point of privilege because, Honorable Speaker, this August House is a house to make laws, to review laws, and to repeal laws. The business of this house, as per my observation these days, has actually reduced itself to that of the primary responsibility and mandate of our work while we are here. Instead of making law, we have turned this house into a question platform type of. And of course, which question also are not answered because the way we administer our times does not allow answering to those questions, and therefore denying an ordinary citizen to benefit from those replies. I move, Honorable Speaker, that it will be beneficial to the ordinary citizens who have elected us, and also to all of us, if we perhaps...
So you are making a point of order. It's not a notice of question.
No, it's not a notice of question. Okay. It's a point of privilege.
Okay.
To say, I'm actually retracting that way, moving. Yes. Honorable Speaker, it is an appeal actually to say going forward.
Yeah, the person is in a point of order, point of privilege, please. Let him just quickly finish.
Going forward, it will be good to observe, number one, our rules, but also to manage our times so that we have time for questions, but we must also have time to do the business of which is on the order paper, because we hardly reach it. And at the end of the day, while we are having a time provided for the business of this parliament, we would probably come with other interventions of saying, no, we want to,
Honorable Member,
extra hours.
Yeah.
No, we have to do it in the time that is allocated to Parliament. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have made the point. Thank you, Honorable Member. Now I recognize Honorable Mbuti. Honorable Mbuti.
I will ask the Honorable Minister of Gender Equality and Child Welfare, Honorable Emma Kantema, the following questions. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members of Parliament, despite Namibia's constitutional promise to protect children under the Child Care Protection Act of 2015, number 3, and Combating Domestic Violence Act of 2003, the reality is alarming. Nearly 40% of girls and 45% of boys have experienced violence during childhood. There are over 1,100 cases of neglect and almost 1,000 cases of sexual abuse recorded in the past year. The rising exposure of children and youth to pornography, often through smartphones and social media, creates new dangers. Studies show that pornography can rewire a child's brain, normalize violence, distort their understanding of relationships, increase aggression, and fuel risky sexual behavior at a very, very young age. Honorable Speaker, protecting our children requires more than policies. It demands visible and accountable action. I therefore respectfully ask the Honorable Minister the following questions. How is the Ministry ensuring that children experiencing sexual violence are actually protected beyond policy statements and awareness drive? Why has the Ministry not implemented stronger digital protections and well-resourced safe houses instead of relying mostly on campaigns and partnerships? Number 3 and the last one. Why does the Ministry continue to prioritize campaigns over effective child protection systems of social workers, especially in rural areas? And how is the allocated budget being used in safe houses if safe houses remain so few? I so submit.
The Honourable Member may now table the questions, please. And I would like the front desk to assist us with the clock whenever we have to deal with the time things. Yeah, it only came on now. I recognize Honorable Hengombe.
Honorable Speaker, I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 25th of September 2025, I shall ask the Honorable Minister of Industrialization, Mines and Energy, Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, the following questions. Honorable Minister, given the recent report and your office's alleged involvement in discussions with foreign companies regarding the financial restructuring of the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia, Namcor, would you kindly clarify the following for this Honorable House and the nation at large? What specific authority or directive initiated discussions with companies from Ghana, Norway, Sweden, and the Democratic Republic of Congo regarding a petroleum bailout for Namcor, considering the board had not issued a public request for such partnership? 2. Could you provide documentation of the formal channels through which the Ghanaian company's debt takeover proposal was transmitted to Namcor, and justify why your office continued to champion this proposal after it was formally rejected by the board on the grounds that its terms were unfavorable to the national interest? Number 3, how do you respond to the Namcor board's written request that you cease interfering in its operations, and how do you reconcile your alleged campaign to replace the board, which has been in place for only 1 year, with established governance protocols for state-owned enterprises? Number 4, Will you commit to full public disclosure of all meetings, communications between your foreign entities regarding potential bailouts, including the specific?
This is NBC One. It's ours.
The 8th Parliament of the National Assembly is set with 104 members ready to serve and shape the nation's future.
Rule 230, we are now representing the whole of Namibia once we are here.
96 elected members and 8 appointed by the President will debate policies, propose legislation, and work towards the nation's progress for the next 5 years.
The issue of policy instability.
There is the urgent issue of the National Youth Council.
Why are colonial laws, habit, and instruments such as 1896 red line still dominant?
They need inclusion, not tokenism.
Is the ministry going to deploy to ensure child safety, particularly in school environments and public spaces?
That is how seriously government took this issue. That we convened as a government and we said, what can we do?
Namibia is at war, not a foreign war, but one within our homes and communities.
The commitment is there, and we continue to endeavor that public service does not stop and that people are able to access government services at all times.
We have moved at a supersonic speed to implement impactful programs that improve the livelihoods of our people.
The National Assembly sits every week from Tuesday to Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon. Follow the sessions and catch the week's highlights on Inside the Chambers program every Sunday at 4 p.m. NBC, it's ours.
So today's discussion is about a principle, a legal principle called or known as nemo judex in causa sua. This is a Latin, or it emanating from a Latin word that basically means you cannot be a judge in your own cause. This principle also avoids biasness in a particular judgment or in a particular case and ensures that the judge or a person clothed with authority is impartial at all particular times. This principle, nemo judex in causa sua, is a principle of natural justice that ensures that if a person or a judge or an arbitrator or a person clothed with authority or decision-making authority ensures that they are not biased, that they are impartial in the decision-making of that particular case, and that they, if they have a personal relationship with the person whom they are set to give a decision against, whether it's a relationship where there is financial gain or a relationship where it is substantial to an extent of a family member, a close friend, then that person, the judge, the person clothed with authority, ought to recuse themselves in this particular stance. This principle, however, if the judge or the person who is clothed with authority does not recuse themselves by themselves, then the applicant may actually invoke this principle. This means that he who alleges must prove that there is a substantial and direct interest between the person clothed with decision-making and the applicant, that is the person on whom the decision has to be made. To ensure that there is no abuse of such principle, he who alleges must prove that indeed that there is a substantial relationship between the person clothed with authority to decide, or that this person has or is gaining some sort of financial gains from the relationship that they have with the applicant. This is also important to note that this principle is only invoked if there is a real and substantial biasness or interest or relationship between the applicant and the person whom is deciding. This means that if a person or A and B merely sees A and B every single day walking across the street, or is their neighbor and do not have some sort of discussion whatsoever, or they basically live in the same building or work in the same building, this does not mean that the principle of nemo judex in causa should apply. There must be real, substantial, and direct interest for this particular principle to be in.
This is NBC One. It's ours.
Gangs and intensifying violence. Recoveries include automatic rifles meant for war, AK-47s, and Namibian pistols, reportedly concealed in legitimate cargo, fresh produce and cut flowers under roses and tulips. Moving along our shared trade routes, this raises diplomatic, reputational and trade facilitation concerns for the Trans-Kalahari and Trans-Caprivi corridors and our Africa Free Trade Area obligations. I asked the Honourable Minister the following. On what dates did the Minister engage South African counterparts at high level on this matter, and what actions and timelines were agreed? What instructions and support were provided by Namibia's High Commission post in South Africa to engage and mitigate on an ongoing basis with the South African government? How is Namibia ensuring that legitimate trade channels are not exploited to illicit arms while meeting our Africa Free Trade Area trade facilitation standards? Lastly, what steps has Ministry of International Relations and Trade taken to protect Namibia's reputation with South Africa, SADC and partners? I submit for the peace of our borders and the integrity of our trade. Thank you.
The Honourable Member may please table the question. Yes. Honourable Lucato. Honourable Lucato, you may please take the floor.
Honourable Speaker, members of Parliament, and the leaders of all political parties. Good day and thank you for the platform. I'm here to give notice that on Thursday, 11 September 2025, I shall ask the Honourable Sankwasa James Sankwasa, Minister of Urban and Rural Development, the following questions. Number one, Honourable Minister, does the Ministry acknowledge that the councillors in municipalities and town council perform essentially the same duties and responsibilities, yet receive significantly different monthly allowance? Number two, can the Minister explain the rationale for the current allowance disparities between municipality and town council councillors, particularly in cases where population size, community needs, and self-delivery responsibilities and comparable? Number three, does the Ministry consider the current practice of differential allowances is consistent with the principle of equality assured in Article 10 of the Namibian Constitution? Number four, has the Ministry conducted any review or study to assess the impact of the disallowance disparities on councillor moral performance and the community service delivery across all local authorities? Honourable Speaker, Honourable Minister, number five, does the Ministry have plans to harmonize councillor allowances across all local authorities to ensure fairness, equity, and the uniform recognition of service, regardless of whether a council is classified as a municipality or a town council? Number six, the last second one. If no harmonization plan exists, can the Minister indicate when the Ministry intended to initiate such a review to correct these disputes and ensure equal treatment for all local authority leaders? Last one, seven, finally, Honourable Minister, will the Ministry Committee to engaging all local authorities and the relevant stakeholders in consultation to deliver a standardized allowance framework that treats all councillors fairly while still recognize special circumstances where justified. Honourable Speaker, I so submit.
Thank you. Honourable Member may please now table the questions. I recognize Honourable Binge.
Oral question?
Oral. Oh, okay. Now, Honourable Venani, you have the floor, please.
Speaker, I rise under Rule 135B, craving for your kind indulgence to ask an oral question, 2 questions. One to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industrialization, Mines and Energy, and then the other one to the Minister of Treasury or Finance. The one to the Minister of Mines and Energy is that Minister of Mines, Energy, we are hearing critical reports that suggest, and it's coming on for a number of months now, that suggests that our marine diamond mining in the sea is unprotected by our security personnel. The marine diamond mining only depends on security of that company itself. And I want to put it to you, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Mines and Energy, that if a resource such as diamonds, so precious to the people of this country and to their socio-economic wishes, what is your ministry doing to ensure safety and security of our diamonds being mined in the sea? We are reading in reports that the diamonds that were stolen here, 315 million, is now a case of suing a security company, apparently being responsible for the collection of those diamonds when they were stolen. And yet, on the shores of our country, diamonds are being mined without any protection, without any security vessels. What are you going to do, and when are you going to visit those operations down south of our country? That's question number 1. Question number 2, quite urgent, Madam Minister of Treasury, or Secretary of the Exchequer, as the British would say. Madam Minister, we have given you a responsibility to look after the interests of previously disadvantaged citizens of our country. The Ministry of Finance is responsible at overlooking the affairs of AgriBank, agricultural bank that has a sole responsibility of making sure that more and more previously disadvantaged Namibians can have access to land. As we are speaking, all farms advertisements in this country, auctions, they are denying any applicant that comes from AgriBank because AgriBank is marred by bureaucracy, that when you want to buy a farm through them, it takes more than 6 months turnaround time to get a deal through them. Now, how do you expect black farmers to access their precious commodity, which is land they fought for, to access land if AgriBank has a turnaround bureaucracy strategy of 6 months? Have you ever met the board of AgriBank under your new tenure as new Minister of Finance? How are you going to resolve the problem? Because the situation is untenable. Everyone who is selling a farm tells you clearly, commercial bank, no AgriBank. That's the advertisements in the newspaper. Yet we have given you money, we are appropriating money to you to allow farmers to access land. Fix AgriBank as quickly as possible. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Does the Deputy Prime Minister wish to respond to the question?
What did the speaker say?
Would the
I thought I
Deputy
hear her
Prime
saying,
Minister...
does I wish to respond? So I don't wish to respond.
Yes, that was the question, Honorable Deputy
Yes,
Prime Minister, because
thank
you have to indicate since the question was not notified in advance.
Thank you, Speaker, for allowing me to respond. Thank you, Honorable Venani, for posting that very important question. I should put it straight that myself, I question that, and it's known by everybody, by all Namibians, when it comes to the securities of our vessels in the sea. I've questioned it. As to how much securities do we have? When I was the chairperson of the Standing Committee of Economics, I've said several times. I've said several times. Now it's me there to make sure that what I have questions, I must now implement it if it's not in place. And due to the fact that it has security of security nature, I also do not want to divulge out there to the public as to what strategy do I have to catch those culprits. But something needs to be done, and we are doing something about it. There is no secret about it. There is even an audio of mine speaking about it, about the securities of our vessels. So it's not a secret at all. But now the reality is, I'm now the minister at the same question ministry. And of course, I can't just question something and not do anything about it. So please bear with me. There is something that we are doing about it. I so submit.
Okay, thank you. Does the Minister of Finance wish to respond to the question?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also stand on Rule 135. I'm learning from Honorable Venani on how I should frame my responses. Thank you very much, Honorable Venani, for this strategic question, if I can put it that way, because it is a question that is talking to the policy of the government, that we need to take care of the previously disadvantaged Namibians. And one of the initiatives, of course, truly, is through the mandate that we have given to AgriBank. And with that, we are specifically saying, can you help them, the previously disadvantaged Namibians, to acquire farms, so that we can produce or can put these farms into production, and with that, contribute to the economy of our country. So I find your question very, very relevant, and as I have said, very strategic also, and for the fact that you are also giving feedback as to what are the people saying out there, especially the applicants. I have met AgriBank more than twice since my appointment on the 22nd of March 2025. And I have brought to their attention what I have heard by then. This one has not come to my attention before, but it's something that I'm going to take up with, because we are really engaging for us to improve on the areas of improvement that have been highlighted. And as responsible Namibians, we have to listen and to act on what we have received as feedback. So I just want to say that, yes, I'm in engagement really with the AgriBank on other strategic subjects that was also discussed in this house. I will come back in one of the days to give feedback to this house, but on your specific one, I will provide feedback to the board. Thank you. I shall submit.
Thank you. I recognize Honorable Mpinge.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I raise on an urgent question to the Minister of Health. Honorable Minister, you noted yesterday the significant challenges we have experienced in recent years with procurement of pharmaceuticals and clinical supplies, which have led to limited stocks in our health facilities. It's true, it's a burden to the elderly and the vulnerable people of our community. As I'm speaking now, people suffering from diabetes, hypertension, and epileptic, they are told to go and buy their own medication at the pharmacies at own cost, which is a very, very high cost. Some of them are even calling us to assist with finance, and we cannot assist all the Namibians if they don't have money. My question to you this morning is, what are other mechanisms in place in your office, your communication with private pharmacies, to help these people who cannot afford to go buy medication themselves? Because these people are just dying because they cannot afford. The medication is not in our health facilities, but they are in Namibia. How can the government help these people to afford these medications in the private pharmacies? Because they cannot sleep one night without medication. That's my question, Honorable Minister.
Yes, thank you. Does the Minister wish to respond?
Okay, thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Member, for the question. I am not 100% sure if you were present yesterday, but what I will do is I'll draw from some of the statements I made yesterday and then provide an answer. I'll start with the end of your question, where you said that some of the medicine is not in our state hospital, but it's in Namibia. And so that's the importance of having a ministry that is proactive and not reactive. So we did reach out to the private pharmacies through the hospitals. The ministry does not reach out to private pharmacies directly. What we do is we allow hospitals all around the regions, we give them funds, which we have done. We give them funds and we allow them to procure directly from pharmacies as a short-term solution. And this has been done. Perhaps if there's a particular region that you've been in touch with that has not been able to carry this out, you can definitely let us know. But we definitely have done this. The regions have been allocated the necessary funds to reach out. As you said, it is in the country, and some medication. So firstly, I wish to correct you on that. Not all medication that we need that is on the essential medicines list and the essential clinical list is in the country. That is incorrect. A lot of private, I hope we're listening so that we don't have to repeat the answer, but a lot of the private pharmacies have also run out of a lot of these pharmaceuticals and clinical supplies. So no, it's not true that 100% of all the drugs that we need are in private pharmacies in Namibia. That's not accurate. The medication that is available within private pharmacies and suppliers within our borders, we have reached out to them and we have provided the facilities with the budget starting as of plus minus the week before last week. Last week as well, we continued. We've provided the regions with these funds for them to, exactly as you have said, to procure, because as short term, we cannot be waiting to get medication from suppliers while, like you've rightfully said, patients on the ground need the medicines. In the event that they are in the country, we have taken the necessary steps to ensure that we procure those, and the necessary funds have definitely been allocated towards that. With regards to the rest of the question, I wish to conclude by stating, I think the question that was asked yesterday by the Honourable Member, which I answered lastly as I was concluding with the answers, where she said, when can we expect the medicine to start flowing in? So short term, we've provided the budget to the regions to procure from pharmacies and suppliers in the country. Moving forward, as I said to the Honourable Member yesterday, we have suppliers that have committed to supply immediately as of this week, and the rest of the medication will continue to flow in. I trust that answers the question. If not, please feel free. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Very important question. Yes, Honourable Mpinge, do you have a follow-up question, briefly?
Thank you so much. Honourable Minister, as I am talking today, I have a patient lying at Katutura State Hospital right now with epilepsy. and there was no medication in the hospitals. We ran around. That patients came to me for assistance. And I happened to go buy cash. And what I'm referring here is that the hospitals should have access to the private clinics themselves. They can even send the patients with a referral letter that you should go and buy at this clinic, the ministry will pay. Only the chronic medications I'm talking about. But the regions doesn't know about this. I'm asking the minister to come back to us with a report from regions.
Yes.
And I want to hear where these regions have bought from private pharmacies, especially Kunene.
Yes, thank you. Now, honorable members, that's an important point. Can we allow the minister? Honorable members, this is a very important issue. The point having been made and us having heard from the minister, can we not allow the minister to go and follow up and see what can be done to address whatever other, you see, because, honorable member, the solution is not a response from the minister. The solution is an action by the ministry to deal with an issue that has been highlighted as a problem. Yeah, because otherwise it's reduced to talking. So the minister answered, the honorable member has indicated in spite of the arrangements in place by the ministry, there are still some problems. So allow the minister to go and look at that and see how that can be addressed. Yeah, otherwise if she wants to respond, she can, but please, this cannot be reduced. This cannot be reduced into a talk show. This is a matter of life and death. Yes, this is a matter of life and death, and the minister needs to address the issue to make sure that we protect people's lives, and not just for us to go on perpetual back and forth. Yeah, so that's the last part. Yes, the speaker, it's a discretion. It's a discretion of the speaker to allow follow-up question, and I have allowed the follow-up question, and I'll allow an answer once, and that's that. Yes.
Good. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I definitely do agree with you on a certain sentiment. I agree with you, Honorable Speaker, on a certain sentiment, on the certain sentiment that you've echoed, and like I've said, I mean, we don't, and I personally do not view it as any sort of attack. I suppose the response would be, if perhaps, and we have found that happening, so perhaps in cases where you are aware of a particular instance, a particular region, whatever the case is, please feel free to bring that forth, and as the speaker has rightfully said, we will investigate that and we will move forward together. I trust that answers the question. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Now I give the floor to Honorable Lucato.
Yeah, you come to me. I mean, what must I do with the region?
Yeah. Okay, and now time is up for urgent oral question. Can Honorable Lucato please, 2 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for the platform. I'm having two combined questions to the two ministers.
2 minutes, honorable member, because the time for oral questions is over.
Honorable ministers, yes. Yeah. The first one is to go to Honorable Minister Lucia Ipumbu, Minister of Home Affairs, Migration, Safety and Security. There is a cry of members of the police, members of immigration, members of Home Affairs there, as your ministry is a huge ministry. So let me say,
Honorable member, your time is running out.
Yes. Regarding the promotions of those higher-ranking officers, since you yourself you have been appointed by the sitting president, so with your power vested on you, which ranks higher level which yourself you are entitled to promote those members? That's the first question. Second question to Minister, Honorable Minister Nekundi. Let me commend you. You are one of the active minister who are working. Yes, I commend you for. Yeah. So now my question is this: there is also, I have observed that in 14 countries, 14 regions, the cars are parked there. Those who were supposed to be auctioned. So now, what's your plan, my relative brother, on that regard? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So the ministers also have 2 minutes each to respond because the oral question time really is over. The first minister was who? Minister of Home Affairs? Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and let me thank the Honorable Mukato for a question. And I'm happy that the question is coming from Honorable Mukato, who has been a member of the police force in the past, who is well vested with the procedures of promotion, which is done by the Inspector General of the Police, depending on the criteria that is already set, that have got to do with the performance, the code of conduct, and it have got to do also with the discipline. Those are the criteria that are outstanding in terms of evaluation of the performance of an individual police officer to become eligible for promotion. And that is not in isolation. It goes along with so many other criteria as set by the various committees that does the assessment. And in the current financial year and the previous financial year, there is already about approximately over 600 police officers who have been promoted. I so submit.
Thank you. Then Honorable Lekunti.
Yes, thank you very much, my relative. Honorable Speaker, the question being said, in fact, I have a ministerial statement to the issue of the cars, but possibly just in summary, there are 2 categories of cars. Okay? The first categories of cars, these are the cars that were involved in the accidents and are beyond economic repair. Some are those that have reached their limit in terms of performance. Those cars were already identified and auctions have taken place, and the statement will address that for today. Now, the other category of cars, in terms of a government policy, which is also covered in my statement today, the government policy on fleet have 2 key elements. Element 1, a government car must not exceed 120,000 kilometers, or 5 years, exceed 5 years, whatever comes first. Now, we have identified these cars, assuming the office this year, we have identified these cars. There are 1,500 in total that are in this category. We have already received approval from Treasury, from my sister here, Minister of Finance, to dispose of these cars. And as we speak, they were already identified, all their characteristics are identified. They will make submission to Treasury so that we then go take them to auction. And because they are a big number, it would affect the government operations if we dispose them at auction at once. We then put them in 50% of that at once. Once we are done, we replenish, and then we sell the others, and then we replenish. That's the context, but I appreciate the question. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Now, the time having been exhausted for urgent oral questions, we now proceed to notices of motions. Any notice of motions? Yes, Honorable, I see Honorable Kandorodu, are you having a notice of question, notice of a motion?
Yes.
Yes, please, you may proceed.
Thank you, Speaker. I hereby give notice that on September 17 this year, I shall move that this Assembly discuss balanced structuring of public service, the Defence Force, the Police Force, correctional services and state-owned enterprises. Article 23 of the Namibia Constitution on Apartheid and Affirmative Action, Section 2, it reads as follows. Nothing contained in Article 10 hereof shall prevent Parliament from enacting legislation providing directly or indirectly for the advancement of persons within Namibia who have been socially, economic, economically or educationally disadvantaged by past discriminatory law or practices, or for the implementation of policies and programs aimed at redressing social, economic, and educational imbalances in the Namibian society arising of past discriminatory laws or practices, or for achieving balanced structuring of public service, the defense force, the police force, and the correctional service. This motion will address the situation where some institutions, department, or directorate are only given job to one group of our society or people from the same denomination or same village. The main aim is to change the status quo and bring into a component
Honorable Member, can you summarize,
Yes,
please?
it's done.
No.
When it
The
comes to
notice
job
is too long.
opportunity, Parliament will discuss. It's only one page.
Honorable Member. No.
Parliament will discuss and deliberate this unopposed motion and refer to relevant committee
What do
for
you
public
mean
input and Parliament approval. I so move.
Yes. Honorable Member, before you table, Honorable Member, what does it mean, unopposed motion? So I think it's just a notice of a motion. It's not unopposed. And you may please table the notice after that. Yes. Point of order. Yes. Okay, can the Honorable Member first get here? Yes.
Fine. The rule prescribes that one. Just listen. The rule.
The presiding officer can name a member by their name when they persist in talking after the presiding officer have asked them to cease talking.
Honorable Speaker, on the point of order, the rule on point of order prescribes that a member must point at the rule or describe to the rule. Now, Honorable Speaker, if the motion or a question does not meet the required standard, it requires amendment, what you have said. But that amendment, there is a format of that amendment. So it can't just be said amendment, then we start writing it. No, there is a format on how it must be done. So therefore, the way it was said, I don't think, Honorable Speaker, it is. No, that's why I'm moving a point of order. So she is going to rule. She's going to rule. She's going to rule. She's going to rule. So Honorable Speaker, the way you have permitted is not in accordance to the rule of amending a motion as required by the rule. So the motion, it must be amended in accordance with the rule of the House.
Thank you, Honorable Member. That matter will be considered and a ruling will be issued in that regard. Secretariat, please note of that. Yeah. On what point is Honorable Nashinge rising? I beg your pardon? Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I really just wanted to invite you to, as the chairperson of this House, to really, just to continue. Which minister? The minister is
maybe let him finish his call.
Yeah, you may proceed, Honorable Nashinge.
I truly have a problem whereby the decorum of the House is continuously broken. We have some honorable members who just stand up without being given the platform, and majority of us are expected to wait for the Speaker to give us the floor to speak. Some, they just stand up banging on the table or whatever we call it, and it is just accepted. Is that normal? Thank you very much.
It is expected of every member to comply with the rules of the House, including when it relates to taking the floor. The rules provide that the member would request for the floor and will be given a turn to take the floor by the presiding officer. It will speak for the time as allowed by the presiding officer. So any member that does not comply with that is in violation, and the presiding officer reserves the right to invoke the appropriate provisions of the rules. There is the ruling, Honorable Member. Now I call upon Honorable Thomas.
Yes.
But I don't disagree with you on the need for us to be compliant. I agree with that part. Now, Honorable Thomas, you may proceed, please.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Honorable
Thomas,
Speaker,
you have the floor, please.
Honorable Member. On Thursday, September 18, 2025, I shall move the motion that this August House to discuss and refer the matter to the appropriate standing committee for investigation and report back to this August House for further discussion and recommendation. The critical issue that need to be addressed for postgraduate ICT technicians stuck on grade 11 salary scale. This is a problematic because the low remuneration has led to the grade 11 salary scale to demotivation, brain drain, and attrition, which can probably prevent the talented individual from eventually leaving the country for good opportunity in the private sector abroad. I so submit.
Yes, the Honourable Member may now table the motion, please. Yes, thank you. I recognize Honourable Aupindi.
Honourable Speaker, I hereby give notice that on Tuesday, the 15th September 2025, I shall move that the following motion for debate in this House, that take note with concern that the southwestern entrance to Etosha National Park, currently known as Galton Gate, is named after Sir Francis Galton, an English statistician, explorer, and anthropologist, widely regarded as the father of eugenics and a proponent of scientific racism. Further note that Galton's theories laid the foundation for eugenic practices later adopted by the regime such as the Nazi Germany, and that such ideologies were used to justify racial hierarchies, forced sterilization, genocide, and a systemic dehumanization of African people, including the genocide on the Hereros and the Namas. I therefore call upon this House, asserting that no gate or monument in Namibia should celebrate an architect of racial superiority and oppression, and that public naming should reflect Namibian values, indigenous heritage, and the sacrifice of our forebears, that this House discusses the renaming of Galton Gate to its indigenous historic name of Ochovadandu. I therefore ask that once this motion is discussed, it should be referred to the relevant standing committee on further discussion and research.
No, we just approve now. We just approve now. It's already approved, Speaker. We just approve now.
I recognize Honourable Lucato.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Speaker, Members of Parliament, I raise that I give notes that on the 17th September 2025, I shall move the motion of Members of Parliament, pension fund after retirement compared to the current retirement, that this Assembly discuss and agree of the Members of Parliament pension fund after retirement. Honourable Speaker, I so submit.
Honorable Lucato, can you say that again?
Sorry?
Can you read again the notice of the motion? Can the honorable member please read again? Honorable members, order. Can honorable... Can the honorable member please read the notice?
I must repeat it?
Yes, please.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, I raise that I give note that on Thursday, 17 September 2025, I shall move the motion of members of Parliament, pension fund after retirement compared to the current retirement, that this House discuss and agree of the members of Parliament pension fund after retirement. I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, Honorable Lucato. May you please take your seat? May you please take your seat a moment? I think, Honorable Lucato, you may need to relook at the formulation of your notice in order to address the clarity part, because it is difficult for me to establish specifically what it is that you want the House to discuss in regard to the pension of members of Parliament. It's not coming out clear. Yes, Honorable Lucato.
Honorable Speaker, you have informed us here that, in short, on 17, I will come and motivate it.
No, not yet. I will give you the point of privilege. Honorable Lucato, what I'm saying is that you did very well to make your notice very short, but it still needs to be clear. One still needs to understand what it is that you are notifying this House that you would want to discuss. And it will be a problem for the Secretariat to frame the notice, you know, because we need to understand what it is that the honorable member intends to do. So I would like to advise the honorable member to please just look at the formulation, and you can table the notice tomorrow.
Okay, I will do so.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
I will do so.
Very good.
Thank you.
So Honorable Kandorodu wanted to rise on a point of privilege.
Point of privilege. I think it's a very interesting notice of motion, but it qualifies more on a letter to the Speaker so that the Speaker can find a platform to deliberate on the point raised. It doesn't actually qualify to be tabled in this House. Yeah. Committee of Privilege maybe can discuss that and then engage.
Yeah.
So the advice
should
go directly to the Speaker or to the Secretary. I so submit.
Thank you, Honorable Kandorodu. I unfortunately am unable to come to that conclusion because I cannot say with certainty what the Honorable Member is trying to say. I first need to understand what he's trying to say. When he has re-looked at the formulation of the notice and the message is clear, then I will be able to say, yes, we allow that we table the motion or notice, or no, we don't allow that we table the notice. So I would allow the honorable member to clarify what it is that he wants to say in that notice. So there was also another point of privilege, I think, or was it by Honorable Ipumbu?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, my guidance is more or less the same like the one of Honorable Kandorodu, to say that these are benefits of members, and I'm speaking as a trustee of the pension benefits of the members of Parliament, as one of the trustees. And my guidance is that if there is a point of concern, we arrange a meeting with the administrators of the fund to come and make a presentation, and then we can have the deliberation, but not on camera. It should be a meeting that is arranged. I so advise, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, thank you. So I think Honorable Rukato, in re-looking at the formulation, should take note of that, because I cannot conclude. I wanted to make that conclusion, but when I asked him to repeat, I wanted to have certainty on what he is actually saying, but I wasn't sure whether what I'm assuming is actually what he's saying. So I think it's safer for me to allow Honorable Rukato to come out clear and say what it is that he wants to say, and then we can come to that conclusion. Okay? Now, there was, oh, yes. My attention is drawn to the fact that it's time for break. And I therefore, yeah, the House will now rise for 20 minutes. Thank you.
The 8th Parliament of the National Assembly is set with 104 members ready to serve and shape the nation's future.
Rule 230, we are now representing the whole of Namibia once we are here.
96 elected members and 8 appointed by the President will debate policies, propose legislation, and work towards the nation's progress for the next 5 years.
The issue of policy instability.
There is the urgent issue of the National Youth Council.
Why are colonial laws, habit, and instruments such as 1896 red line still dominant?
They need inclusion, not tokenism.
Is the ministry going to deploy to ensure child safety, particularly in school environments and public spaces?
That is how seriously government took this issue. That we convened as a government and we said, what can we do?
Namibia is at war, not a foreign war, but one within our homes and communities.
The commitment is there, and we continue to endeavor that public service does not stop and that people are able to access government services at all times.
We have moved at a supersonic speed to implement impactful programs that improve the livelihoods of our people.
The National Assembly sits every week from Tuesday to Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon. Follow the sessions and catch the week's highlights on Inside the Chambers program every Sunday at 4 p.m. NBC, it's ours.
This is Touch FM. It's everywhere.
National FM, prime all the time.
Hardloop FM, leef in Afrikaans.
Ondenga podongo, oi shabari pinyi jiheripo, omurari wanjibi firombaranga.
Sie sind bei Funkhaus Namibia. Deutsch gehört, gehört.
Kai samese, aridi haukau ausi.
TYS-FM, Mamarato Aha.
Wato FM, Muchima wetu.
Kati FM, Kati nkupora pale thingi.
Mwanyi FM, Kai ni Kai.
Ka Radio, Konoro Ngisima.
The Office of the President is rolling out nationwide consultations on the National Upstream Petroleum Local Content Policy from the 1st to the 17th of September 2025. This initiative aims to empower Namibians to fully participate in the oil and gas value chain, ensuring that local communities and businesses reap maximum benefits from Namibia's growing petroleum sector. Watch all the consultations live on NBC One and all our social media platforms from 9:30 in the morning from the 1st to the 17th of September 2025. Only on NBC One, it's ours.
Good evening, Namibia. My name is Eva Nangoro. I'm a government lawyer employed in the Ministry of Justice under the Directorate of Legal Aid. Today we are going to look at 3 words, 3 legal words. The first one is bastardy. Bastardy is an old legal term that refers to a child born outside of a legally recognized marriage. Today, the word bastardy is considered offensive, and it's no longer used in modern laws, but it still appears in olden laws and documents. So in recent or in our new laws, hardly you will find the word bastard. But if you go back into the history archives and look at the old laws, this word is still in the law books. For an example, in the past, a child born to unmarried parents might be called a bastard. But that's in legal term. It's a recognized legal term for a child to be called bastard. And that child in the past can also be denied of her inheritance simply because of the legal marriage status of the parents. But that's no longer a case in Namibia. Our laws now protect all children equally. It's no longer about the marital status of the parents. So in today's world, all children born out of marriage, born in marriage, they both enjoy the legal protection from the law. The second word, legal word, that I want us to look at is legal pluralism. Legal pluralism means more than one legal system exists in the same country at the same time. In Namibia, this includes our formal civil laws, like what we have, the Constitution, and our customary law, followed by the different communities. An example is when, for example, one person might be married under civil law, and they have the marriage certificate issued by the authorities, but you have another couple that is married under customary law. They don't have a marriage certificate, but still that marriage is recognized, depending on which legal system is being used. If you are using civil law, of course, the people married under civil law must produce their civil marriage certificate. But if people are married under customary laws, their laws that are being applied will recognize them as a married couple in that community. The third word that I want us to look at is intersedation conjugalis. Intersedation conjugalis. This is a Latin phrase used to describe serious disagreement or conflict between married people, a husband and the wife. It literally means marital disagreement between spouses. For example, if a couple is constantly fighting and cannot live together peacefully, maybe they are fighting over money, children, or just simply not getting along, it can be called then intersedation conjugalis. It is usually used in divorce cases to explain why marriage has broken down. So this is literally marital disagreement, serious disagreement between the spouses, the couple. Those are the three words that I wanted to unpack for you today. I hope you have learned one or two things out of these definitions and that you are now enlightened.
Looking for the ultimate entertainment experience? NBC Plus is your gateway to the best local and international content anytime, anywhere. From radio shows to breaking news and thrilling dramas, live sports and exclusive shows, NBC Plus brings you non-stop action at your fingertips. Never miss a moment of your favorite programs. Stream live television or catch up on demand. And guess what? It's all in the palm of your hands. Anywhere you go, stay connected to home. Listen to live radio, music, and more right from your phone. One app, endless entertainment. Download NBC Plus today on Play Store or watch via the link www.nbcplus.na and take your viewing experience to the next level. NBC Plus, it's global.
Stay informed and inspired with the Daily Roundup with Nina, your ultimate weekday destination for the latest news, in-depth interviews, and compelling stories from Namibia and around the world. From breaking headlines and expert insights to special features that highlight impactful initiatives, we bring you everything you need to stay connected to the issues that matter the most. Don't miss it. Your news, your world, every day.
From the heart of Africa, where stories unfold, voices are heard, and the pulse of the nation beats. Welcome to NBC One, Namibia's most trusted news source. At NBC One, we bring Namibia and the world to you. Join us for a full range of content, news, interviews, documentaries, live parliamentary broadcasts, and so much more. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay connected. NBC One, your source for news that matters.
Good afternoon and welcome to your 4 o'clock highlights here on NBC One with me, Ivan Shishanda. Now, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons is providing training for African member states at Swakopmund. The 5th day advanced training is aimed at building capacity for first responders from 13 English-speaking states in Africa. It is designed for civil defense, fire and rescue services, police, military units, hazardous material teams and medical responders. The over 30 personnel gathered here will have their skills enhanced to better prepare them to respond to chemical emergencies. The course includes practical demonstrations, real-time scenarios, and a focus on decontamination, detection, and monitoring.
The organization is now intensifying its focus on preventing the re-emergency of chemical weapons on international cooperation. In this context, the Secretariat continues to devote special attention to Africa. The special need of the region and the challenges it faces in implementation of the Chemical Weapons Convention require a targeted approach.
To play a central role in global peace and security. I wish in the spirit of continued commitment and collaboration that we gather here today, bringing together expertise, experiences, and shared purpose to strengthen our collective ability to prevent and respond to chemical threats.
Now, the Sangwali Health Center in Zambezi, Judea, Yavoloma constituency received an ambulance from the Ministry of Health and Social Services. Sangwali is one of the 3 health centers in the Zambezi region with a nursing staff of 12. The nurse in charge at the Sangwali Health Center, Sister Annette Sitina, said the ambulance will improve the delivery of health services to a community of more than 5,000 people. The ambulance will also serve 6 other health centers. At the ambulance handover ceremony, Senior Medical Officer at Katima Mulilo State Hospital, Dr. Helen Bainga, emphasizes the need of an ambulance in that area.
Very, very, very important. It's very, very crucial and very, very critical. We are really very, very grateful to the government and, of course, our Honorable Minister who facilitated the ambulance to be in this region, Zambezi region. And we've received it on behalf of the region, on behalf of our director. We've now handed it over to Sangwali Health Center. I would like to say that to the nurse in charge and to the driver, they need to take care of our resources. They need to make sure that the protocols and the policies of the ministry regarding our items, regarding state property, are well governed and followed. accordingly.
Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema has directed diplomats accredited to Zambia to help Africa obtain a permanent seat on the UN Security Council. Hichilema says diplomats accredited to African countries have a duty to their respective governments to ensure continued reforms of the United Nations.
The occasion at Zambia's State House saw ambassadors and high commissioners representing 9 countries deliver letters of credence to the presidents. These diplomats are from Nicaragua, Chad, Palestine, Serbia, Denmark, New Zealand, the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela, Czech Republic, and Ireland. His message to these nations was consistent with Zambia's foreign policy anchored on 2 pillars: economic diplomacy on one hand and peace, security and stability on the other. Meanwhile, Serbian ambassador to Zambia, Jasna Zenovic, says her country wants to continue the collaboration that saw liberation of countries in Southern Africa during their union with Yugoslavia from the early 1960s. The rest of the diplomats equally shared their commitments towards the development of Africa. Wamundila Chilinda, NBC News, Lusaka, Zambia.
That's it for now. Join us at 8 tonight for a more detailed bulletin. Until next time, goodbye.
Whether you live in a city or reliance, then having to depend on public transport, private services, or favors from friends. Although there are burdens and responsibilities with owning a car, you will be able to get to where you need to go on your terms. However, as much as this is a benefit for everyone, people living with disabilities do not usually have an easy time finding a driving school that will accommodate them. Pepukai Isaac Murakwari recognized the need to provide this service to people with disabilities in Windhoek after he had a tumor inside the spinal cord that changed his life and his own abilities forever.
My name is Isaac Murakwani. I was born in Zimbabwe and I went to primary and high school in Zimbabwe, and then I moved to Namibia in 2008. I attended UNAM. I did a BAc in accounting, an honors in accounting at UNAM. And then as of 2011, I started business. I had my spinal cord injury in 2015. This was as a result of a tumor on my spine. I got operated in September of 2015, and unfortunately after the operation I lost my ability to walk. At first I was actually happy that I did not have a cancer that would kill me. That's the first point. So I was relieved. Later on, when I started struggling, obviously, with movement and small things like going to the bathroom and all those things, that's when I realized, oh, I've got a problem here. But I quickly, I'm somebody who likes to quickly solve my own issues and get ahead of things. So I just started, exploring how I could manage my environment better with my new circumstances.
The road to becoming a driving instructor was not easy, as it took months of waiting and pushing, but Isaac never gave up.
When I was in the hospital, I spoke to a gentleman called Mitch. So Mitch said, so we were just talking. He's also a person, he uses a wheelchair. So he came to just, talk to me, console me, and, just sort of give me answers to my new situation, if I had any questions. So he was very great. He talked to me. He assured me that, you can have a decent life. So as we were talking, he said, you can get equipment and drive yourself around and all those things. So then I said, oh, okay. So how does that happen? And he just says, you buy your own equipment and just start driving. I said, wow, that's dangerous, isn't it? Then, he said, it's dangerous, but what can we do? That's what's there. So after that, after I got out of hospital, I started doing my research, and then we got a place in SA that I could go and practice to be an instructor, because I felt that other people also would benefit if I knew how to teach them. So this was all out of pocket. I flew to South Africa, and I went to get all this lessons from a lady called Pat. She's the one who helped me out. And then when I got that certification, I came to Ministry of Transport, and then we started talking in terms of having a driving school for people with impairments or disabilities. So it took about 9 months, back and forth, up until they approved the little car that I bought specifically for that purpose. So that's how it started. And then ever since 2017, these lessons have been going on. MVA came on board and started giving me some of their clients so that I can teach them how to drive.
Many of his clients have been very thankful for this initiative, bringing so independence and confidence in their lives.
I'm Teopoltine Utarera Kanjou, turning 42 years here. I was in a car accident 17 May 2013, so I've been a wheeler now for like 9 years now. I started driving in 2018, and that is 5 years after my accident.
My name is Tony Pock, and I'm 23 years old, and I'm a student. ISEC is an initiative whereby he provides driving school for people living with disabilities. It is a very unique initiative to help those who otherwise would have struggled in Namibia. Because his driving school puts people in a position whereby they are more independent and can depend on themselves rather than depending on others. So the initiative is very much important.
How did I get hold of Isaac? I cannot remember. I was introduced by someone. I was given his number by someone, and I contacted him. And then he told me all the procedures, what I have to do, what I have to go through, because you also have to go for an assessment before you even can go get your license and everything. ISEC initiative is the best. It's actually great because it's like we are minorities when it comes to driving or when it comes to living normal life. So having someone who's helping you to get your life back, it's a very great thing.
I was actually struggling before I met him because once I wanted to go anywhere, I would have to call a friend or a family member to pick me up and take me somewhere because the location where I live is pretty hard to get a taxi, and then again, a wheelchair doesn't fit in a Tanki Botswana and those type of vehicles. So then again, I would have to call family members. But then I met him through mutual friends who introduced me to him and told me, no, you can get a driver's license, what. And then that's where I met him. And it has greatly helped my life, getting to and from school, from UNAM, from campus, going wherever you want. If you want to go get something to eat, you can drive off, those type of stuff. He also helped me a lot with like getting the wheelchair into the car, getting it off, those type of special skills. So his initiative has really, really impacted my life.
How was the first lesson for you?
It was fine.
It was fine. Okay. Don't worry about getting everything the first day. It comes with time. Because you're teaching your brain how to do this with your hands, and you have to do it over and over and over again until such a time that it becomes natural for you just to break and
This is NBC One. It's ours.
The 8th Parliament of the National Assembly is set with 104 members ready to serve and shape the nation's future.
Rule 230, we are now representing the whole of Namibia once we are here.
96 elected members and 8 appointed by the President will debate policies, propose legislation, and work towards the nation's progress for the next 5 years.
The issue of policy instability.
There is the urgent issue of the National Youth Council.
Why are colonial laws, hard-beating instruments such as 1896 red line still dominant?
They need inclusion, not tokenism.
Is the ministry going to deploy to ensure child safety, particularly in school environments and public spaces?
That is how seriously government took this issue. That we convened as a government and we said, what can we do?
Namibia is at war, not a foreign war, but one within our homes and communities.
The commitment is there, and we continue to endeavor that public service does not stop and that people are able to access government services at all times.
We have moved at a supersonic speed to implement impactful programs that improve the livelihoods of our people.
The National Assembly sits every week from Tuesday to Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon. Follow the sessions and catch the week's highlights on Inside the Chambers program every Sunday at 4 p.m. NBC, it's ours.
Looking for the ultimate entertainment experience? NBC Plus is your gateway to the best local and international content anytime, anywhere. From radio shows to breaking news and thrilling dramas, live sports and exclusive shows, NBC Plus brings you non-stop action at your fingertips. Never miss a moment of your favorite programs. Stream live television or catch up on demand. And guess what? It's all in the palm of your hands. Anywhere you go, stay connected to home. Listen to live radio, music, and more right from your phone. One app, endless entertainment. Download NBC Plus today on Play Store or watch via the link www.nbcplus.na and take your viewing experience to the next level. NBC Plus, it's global.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members. It is with great honor and profound respect that I rise before this very august House today to address matters of paramount importance to our nation's development agenda, national assets, prudence management, specifically pertaining to the strategic management and disposal of movable government assets under the stewardship of a minister critical challenge, and in demonstration of our unwavering commitment to prudent public resource management, the Ministry of Works and Transport has undertaken a decisive and progressive steps toward the systematic disposal of a substantial number of vehicles that have categorically reached the end of their operational lifespan and economic viability. Allow me to elaborate on the policy framework that governs our fleet management practices. The government fleet policy, established through careful deliberations and expert consultation, stipulates a clear operational lifespan of 5 years of government vehicles. Additionally, the policy mandates the replacement or renewable procedures when any vehicle accumulates 120,000 kilometers of service, regardless of its chronological age. These parameters have been scientifically determined to maintain optimal operational efficiency, ensure the highest standards of user safety, and minimize long-term maintenance costs that would otherwise burden public purse. However, Honorable Speaker, I must bring to the attention of this august House the sobering reality that confronts us today because of Honorable Swartwood. Despite the clear provisions of our established policy framework, a substantial and a concerning portion of our current government fleet was procured in or before year 2014. This means that many of these vehicles have now exceeded 10 years financial resources due to their frequent mechanical breakdowns, escalating maintenance costs, and persistent need for emergency towing services and costly standby arrangement. The cumulative effect of these operational challenges places an unacceptable burden on our national budget and divert resources that could otherwise be channeled toward priority development objectives. Honorable Speaker, beyond the financial implications, I must emphasize to this distinguished House that our aged fleet possesses increasingly serious safety risks to the dedicated public servants who operate these vehicles daily, as well as to the passengers they transport in service of our nation. These safety concerns cannot be understated, as they directly impact the welfare of our civil servants and the communities they serve. Furthermore, the unreliability of this aging fleet has resulted in increased government operational downturn, creating ripple effects that negatively impact service delivery across all ministries, agencies, and regional administrations. When government vehicles are non-operational due to mechanical failures, essential services are delayed, community outreach programs are compromised, and the overall efficiency of public service delivery suffers significantly. Honorable Speaker, to this Facts, the ministry has identified a total number of 1,500 vehicles. Then 6 vehicles were already identified to have been damaged beyond economic repairs, while some surrendered their performance as a result of having reached their mechanical lifespan and accordingly auctioned between the period the 16th of June.
And the Minister of Home Affairs, and then we can have queries after that, so that we take care of the ministerial statements first. The Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I rise to inform on the outcome of the state visit of Honorable Sri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, to the Republic of Namibia. On 9 July 2025, Prime Minister Modi paid a landmark state visit to Namibia, coinciding with the 35th anniversary of diplomatic relations between our two countries, which will be observed on the 19th of December this year. This was the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister since 1998. The visit reaffirmed the historic ties forged during Namibia's liberation struggle when India hosted the first SWAPO mission in New Delhi. It also revitalized bilateral cooperation underpinned by shared democratic values, South-South cooperation, solidarity, inclusive development, and multilateralism. During the official talks, issues related to ICT, human resource development, agriculture, pharmaceuticals were discussed. Both leaders celebrated the success of the Cheetah Translocation Project as a global symbol of ecological restoration and South-South cooperation. Both heads of state directed the two countries to expand trade and investment in the following industries: green hydrogen and clean energy, mining, oil and gas, with focus on beneficiation, infrastructure, agriculture and food security, tourism and film development. Both countries undertook to continue to call for multilateralism to remain at the center of global affairs, and stressing the importance to maintain regular consultations on vital issues, such as the need for the reform of the United Nations Security Council. India also offered desalination technology to address Namibia's water scarcity and proposed recognition of Indian pharmaceuticals in Namibia. Still in health, India proposed establishing a pharmaceutical manufacturing facility in Namibia, Development Center, and then Memorandum of Understanding between the Namibia University on Science and Technology and the Maharana Pratap University of Agriculture and Technology in the field of agricultural research collaboration. The visit demonstrated the depth and forward-looking nature of the Namibia-India partnership. The signed agreements and frameworks will transform relations into a viable partnership aligned with Namibia's Vision 2030, the SWAPO Party Manifesto, and India's Global South engagement. Prime Minister Modi expressed gratitude for receiving Namibia's highest civilian honor, the Order of the Most Ancient Welwitschia Mirabilis. Going forward, key follow-ups will include holding the next Joint Commission of Cooperation and the 4th Namibia-India Joint Trade Commission during this financial year, concluding pending agreements on cybersecurity, digital transformation, culture, and small development projects. As diplomatic practice has it, Prime Minister extended a formal invitation to Her Excellency the President, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, to undertake a state visit to India, which was accepted. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I reiterate my thanks to all of you for warmly welcoming the Prime Minister to the House during the delivery of his statement, and I thank you.
Very good, thank you. We will now hear the Honourable Minister of Home Affairs, Honourable Ipumbu.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Members. I rise to deliver this ministerial statement on the commencement of Africa Amnesty Month in Namibia for the year 2025. But before I do that, Honourable Speaker, allow me to extend a word of appreciation on behalf of the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, the Namibia Correctional Service, and the Namibian Police on the support extended to us during the difficult and tragic incident that took place a week ago. Your messages of condolences, your support in all aspects that transcend the political lines were appreciated, and as such, we are appreciating the support in all forms that was extended to all of us, and we are to report here that we have since laid 12 of our deceased persons to rest over the last weekend, and the 4 remaining deceased are to be buried the coming weekend. And we are extending our condolences to the families, and the souls of our departed colleagues rest in eternal peace. As I continue, September has been declared as the Amnesty Month, a period during which we, as a nation, take a decisive step to create a safer and more secure Namibia, and to contribute to a safer Africa, free from threat of unlicensed weapons, ammunition, and explosive ordnance. Honourable members, you will recall that the Assembly of Heads of States and Governments, at its 29th Ordinary Session in July 2017 in Addis Ababa, considered the inaugural report of the Peace and Security Council on the implementation of the African Union Master Roadmap of Practical Steps for Silencing the Guns in Africa by the year 2020. A key decision of that session declared the month of September each year, initially up to 2020, as an Africa Amnesty Month for voluntary surrender and collection of illegally owned firearms, ammunition, and the related materials. In December 2020, at the 14th Extraordinary Session of the Assembly of Silencing the Guns, which was hosted in Johannesburg, this initiative was extended from 2020 to 2030 as a flagship under the Agenda 2063, which seeks to end wars and conflict, to curb gender-based violence, and to prevent genocide on our continent. The African Union decision is unambiguous. It stipulates that all persons who surrender illegal owned firearms and ammunition and armaments during this period shall not be subjected to disclosure, humiliation, arrest, or prosecution. And conversely, those who fail to surrender such items beyond this period shall be deemed to be in violation of national laws and subject to prosecution in line with the domestic legislation of each member state. The decision further calls upon all AU member states and the regional economic communities and the mechanism and civil society organization to give wide publicity to Amnesty Month and to mobilize citizens to participate actively in the continental efforts to silence the gun. Honourable Speaker, honourable members, across our continent, the proliferation of illicit small arms and light weapons have fueled armed conflicts, violent crime, and cross-border trafficking, and most of all, instability. These weapons have been used to rob families of their loved ones. They have weakened their communities and have impeded Africa's development agenda. Namibia is also not immune to that. We remain deeply concerned about the misuse of firearms in criminal activities, gender-based violence, poaching, and organized crime. As a result, member states of African Union and SADC we embrace Africa's Amnesty Month and both legal obligation and the moral imperative to us to ensure that we reduce on this. Honorable members, voluntary disarmament is not new to Namibia. Over time, our security institutions and communities have developed experience in removing these illicit arms from civilians' possession and in building trust between the state and citizen. While challenges have occurred, those efforts provide a solid foundation for the effective implementation of the Amnesty Month. The message this year remains clear. This is a call to action to every person who may be in possession of an illegal firearm, ammunition, explosive, or armaments to surrender them voluntarily, no questions asked, and without fear of prosecution during this window period. For 2025, the period runs from the 1st to the 30th of September, and the success of these months depend on the whole of the society's effort. I therefore call upon all stakeholders, government institutions, law enforcement agencies, traditional and community leaders, faith-based organizations, civil society, the private sector, and our youth in the media to join hands in amplifying this message. An unlicensed gun is not a tool of protection. It is a threat to peace, to public safety, and development. Let us replace fear with trust and violence with dialogue. I wish to commend the Inspector General of the Namibian Police Force, the management, the officers across all ranks and files of the police for strengthening the cooperation between the public and the partnership between the public and the police, and the media for supporting our national call for this effort. The positive results reported in recent years attest to the impact sustained community-centered approaches. I further acknowledge the ongoing partnership with the African Union Commission, SADC, and the stakeholders whose technical policy and advocacy contributions have kept this initiative alive and effective. Honorable Speaker, as we mark the start of African Amnesty Month, I appeal directly to the people of Namibia. Let us use this September to rid our homes and our communities of these illegal firearms and ammunition. Let us choose peace over violence, respect for the law over impunity, and unity over division. In doing so, we will be laying a firmer foundation for safe, secure, and prosperous Namibia and contributing to a peaceful Africa in our time. If I may cite the statistics that we have experienced between 2021 to 2024, the murder by firearm have reduced by 2.8%. The robbery in aggravating circumstances have reduced by 19.2%. And the pointing of firearm to a person have reduced by 9.6%. But unfortunately, the attempted murder with a firearm incidents have increased by 30%. I believe there will be a solution if we all are to pull our efforts together in ensuring that us, from the 29th of August, where we launched this under the theme of surrender illegal and unwanted firearms and ammunition and armaments for safer Namibia, as a nation and a peace-loving nation, if we disseminate this information and head to this call in our constituency and among our stakeholders, and encourage all persons to ensure that unlawful possession of firearms is ceased and they avail themselves for protection offered during the amnesty period. Allow me, therefore, to table this and request your cooperation as we await for the 30th of September to report the statistics of the firearms that would have been surrendered by the end of the campaign. I thank you
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now I would like to invite comments and rather questions on the first statement, the one by Honorable Nekundi. Yes, Honorable Venani. Oh, you were on the list, but I have already called out your name. You may
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Nekundi, while alive for the last few months that you are a minister, you are doing a great job, I must say. Having said that, I want to disagree with government policy. One of the things that we must remember is that we are supervising the lives of needy and poor Namibians. I don't agree with your policy of government saying a government vehicle must have a lifespan of up to 120,000 kilometers. 5 years. Or 5 years. I gave credit to President Gainkop for the decision that he took to extend the lifespans of vehicles because we have saved money. We are owners of vehicles, personally, you and me. You have personal vehicles in your possession that are longer and older than 10 years and having more than 400 to 500,000 kilometers, and they are still moving. For a government that is supervising on people that are hungry, to tell me that a Land Cruiser vehicle, I had a Land Cruiser that did 560,000 kilometers on the clock without any oil leakage. And I am an owner of a number of vehicles. So for government to start saying and claiming, like a rich government of New Zealand or Spain, now our cars must only run up to 120,000, while our schools, our children are under trees. That policy is not really well thought out. And as a new minister, try to bring categories into the fleet. Category of ministers and VIPs, Prime Minister, whatever, Vice President.
But it's 3 ministers, Wakwet.
It's 3 ministers for 3 minutes, 6, 9.
9.
Oh,
9.
You are very generous, my speaker. Very generosity for each one. Gracias.
30 minutes.
So, Mr. Nekundi, Tate Nekundi, Kamajona, he's younger than me. Kamajona Nekundi, Minister Nekundi, Honorable, with all due respect, we should really put categories. Your VVIPs, I can agree with 120,000. Why? Because of security concern. You can't drive a bulletproof car. For example, listen, you don't know. A bulletproof car has a limitation. It has an age limit for security reasons. And then you can create another for the police, for example. You can also say maybe 200,000. But to say all government vehicles, even ambulances, 120, it must be sold. You are wasting our money. I'm done with that 3 minutes. Number 2?
No, we are
only. You are allowed
Honorable Member, we first hear the questions on Honorable Nekundi's statement.
Then I come back again.
Answer. Yes, please. Let's not waste time.
That's why you made a mistake by allowing all of them.
Honorable Kalangura, is your question on the statement of Honorable Nekundi? Yes, please, take the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I appreciate you coming forth and updating us through this. I remember vividly quite well when you requested for that list on the 8th of April. And it took rather long for them to give you a list, or rather a lengthy period of time. I feel that there is root cause analysis needed in the fleet management department, particularly with regard to its policy. We need a review there because the departmental members have become too comfortable. You find vehicles that are stuck as a result of a battery that were probably depleted. Next thing you know, all the parts are stolen, just in the parking. Next thing you know, the car is put up on auction like it was done now. How many cars are done in that similar fashion? Now, are we dishing out cars as a result of the negligence of these people in this department? Where is our accountability in this department? Honorable Minister, if we have to start somewhere, it's by reviewing that department and ensure that the performance is put through that department and properly and thoroughly reviewed together with its policy. And of course, I have to agree with Honorable Venani. If you have to say a Toyota, for instance, it can go up to 500,000 kilometers, easily. And most of our vehicles are Toyota. I don't understand now who determined this policy and based on what, on 120. It's rather confusing and puzzling to us. But we understand the safety aspects. But it's unfair for the people that we represent. We are allowing them to drive older cars on the roads, but we have to sit comfortably and drive new cars every time. This is really not the way we should govern our government and represent the people that voted for us. I think we ought to do better, Honorable Minister. But on that note, thank you for the update. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Hangula, is your query on Honorable Nekundi? Yeah.
Honorable Speaker, I think the two honorables actually really touched on what I was about to say also, but if I may add, it's more of a suggestion. If we start with cleaning out the government garage first, because that's basically a graveyard for government vehicles. But then again, as part of your plan, and this is stemming from what was said earlier by my Honorable Mushe Twafeni, what happens to those vehicles? Are you going, because some of these vehicles would have been standing for 3 years. I was in Opuo at the police station and at the hospital, and I got the pleasure of meeting the young lady who was a station commander there. And she showed me physically cars that have been standing for 3-4 years, some even beyond the time that she was appointed station commander there. That something as basic as a battery or a tire, the procurement bureaucracy service actually is what leads to this. Now this, given your current standing 120 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers limit, some of these cars have not accumulated that, but they've been dilapidated because of standing in the sun or in the government garage for years. What are you going to do about that? Are you going to first start with those vehicles, refurbish them and put them back in circulation until they reach that limit, or are you going to just also check them out with the rest? I think, Honorable Speaker, for now, I will stand there, submit so until we go to international relations. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kandarogo.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Nekundi, for that action. It's needed and it's very urgent. However, an awareness is needed among the officials at government garage or different ministries. Some of them, the reason they are refusing to give the list of their vehicles to be auctioned is they fear that if they let them go, there will be no replacement. Their understanding is that the money that will be accumulated from the auctions, it must be reinvested directly back into their fleet. So maybe if you sell 10, at least give them 5. So that's why you are experiencing that delay in terms of submitting the list. The go to Shati Kongoro, those green scheme, tractors are standing there broken. I'm sure that they were not submitted to participate in the auction. The government bought tractors from Italy, Holland, with no, Brazil with no parts, completely. A brand new tractor
South, and also because of their increased collaboration and solidarity with developing countries. So that is really the answer. Projected trade, where do we see ourselves in the next 5 years? At the moment, there's a trade imbalance, I understand, but we are working towards that. We want to have at least win-win solution, but India being a G20 country, very much advanced economically, we have a lot to do in terms of catching up, but we at least want to address the import and export balance so that they don't export more to us and then we import less. So we are working towards rectifying that balance. At the moment, as I said, there is an imbalance. Honorable Kalola, you have asked about the MOUs, which I have already responded to, that they will be made available. In fact, some of these MOUs are also on government websites. You can access them, but given that you have given me the request, I will make sure that those MOUs are made available. And going forward, we look forward to keeping you in the know with regard to...
There is a need for us to really, let me put it in a question, old horse. Madam Minister, will you consider putting new regulations for areas such as the Kunene nomads, the Himba? See, a Himba man travel with cattle from one village to the other in search of grazing. Your rules of arms says you must have a safe. Now, for a person who's a nomad, a Maasai, a Himba, or any other nomads, it becomes nearly impossible for them to acquire these safes because they are moving around and their rifles cannot be in safes. But now you have impounded all their arms while they are licensed because they don't have safes. Are you going to consider creating new measures for them to have safety? Because if you look at the crime ratio in Kunene, for example, is probably the lowest throughout the whole country. So burdening communities that we know cannot be able to conform with modern laws becomes a very complex issue. How do you intend to address that during the month of Amnesty? Gracias.
Thank you. Honorable Werikwa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, having spoken about amnesty, there are guns that have actually been taken, I would put, from Namibian nationals that returned from Botswana. And when they returned, actually, it was the issue of permits whereby these guns were licensed in Botswana. And as a result, upon entry into Namibia, the agreement was that they would be given a temporary permit that would eventually allow them to be given the full permit of these very guns, or license, I would put. As we are talking, these guns are still kept in the safe under the custody of the Namibian police. And the community in Gam, some of them are traditional guns, and they are actually from their great-grandfathers. And they will tell you, so it means that these guns belong to our great-grandfathers. We came along with them. We fought the genocide war with them. Please try and return them to us. So that's one issue that I'm putting to the Honorable Minister, that please, these are primarily communities in Gam and ASAP area. These guns were under the police station in Chumkwe. On another note, Honorable Minister, the Namibian nation have awakened to a concerning message that came from a media house from South Africa, where they have alleged that Namibia have been used or Namibian weapons have found themselves or a way into South Africa, and these weapons seemingly are being used by gangs in Western Cape. Such reporting is quite worrisome. Such media, I'm asking my question. So such media house is quite concerned, and we condemn with the strongest term possible. Honorable Minister, my question is, we need to get to a point whereby these media houses are held accountable. They must provide proof. Where are these weapons? Which are the serial numbers of these weapons? They cannot bring up misinformation to try and put our country under a bad light where they cannot prove such. Honorable Minister, let's act against this, and this I put to yourself accordingly. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And the last one, I spoke as a chairperson of Defense and Security.
Your time
so for the Honorable Member, just to know, as a chairperson of Defense and Security, Thank you very much.
Okay. Honorable Minister, you please have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, for the questions posed on Honorable Venani. I take note of the challenge of Kunene. Of course, I just came from Kunene, and I can confirm that is the second lowest in terms of the criminal activities countrywide, which is a commendable attribute in terms of noting that the crime rate there is very low. Coming to the guns, the intention of acquiring safe for the guns is for protection for both the owner and everybody around them. And if you take note of our setup in the nomad structure, if you are now to move around carrying a gun wherever you go, amongst the children, amongst those that are not trained in how to use the gun, it poses a danger and a threat to the community. So the requirement to have a safe for that gun is not far-fetched. I think it's for the protection of lives of individuals and everybody around those that are owners of the guns. And perhaps what you should look at, which we can look at together, is if there are those that own those guns that are not able and are not in a position to acquire safe for keeping their guns safe. But the safe is a requirement. Even if you travel from here to Ondangwa, you would be required to have your pistol in a safe when you board the plane. And coming to Honorable Weriko, permits of the guns that were given temporarily that would not be given back to the owner. I believe it was just a temporary arrangement and it have exceeded the requirement. I know there is a room for appeal which can be done directly to the minister. I advise that the owners of such guns appeal as per the procedures that are laid down and then motivate and submit all the necessary requirements, and then they can be considered for their guns to be handed over back to them. I want to believe that was just a temporary arrangement. And on the second question, or rather the incident that is being reported and it's going around, I'm happy to note that in the evening review this afternoon, both the Inspector General of the Police and our colleagues from the Ministry of Defense would be on air to clarify that issue. As it is a fabrication, it's not as factual, the reporting they on, and let's just follow the news, for I know the IGP is currently giving the right information on that very incident. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now, I see the Honorable Member was engaged in other discussions, yes, but please engage the Minister outside. We are now done. No, Honorable, we are done now. Yeah, no, we are no longer going to the ministerial statement. Now I will proceed, Honorable Member, with the next item, which is reports from the Committee of the Whole House Assembly and consequential proceedings. Any such reports? None? Then we go to the order of the day, and we only have 15 minutes now to deal with the substantive order of the day. The Secretary will read the first order of the day.
Resumption of consideration of report on the performance assessment and post-election for the 2024 presidential and National Assembly elections.
When this Assembly adjourned on Tuesday, the 8th of July, the question before the Assembly was a report by the Honorable Deputy Speaker that the report be adopted. Honorable Nashinge adjourned the debate, and he now has the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. With the few minutes left, I truly rife on the matter of grave national concern as far as this report is concerned, and perhaps just to bring our position towards this matter. This whole report really strikes at the very heart of our democracy and the integrity of our electoral process and sanctity of the people's will. We are here today to discuss a report from the Electoral Commission of Namibia, and maybe we'll continue on the 2024 general elections. However, the document presented to this House is not a report. It is a whitewash, and it is one-sided self-congratulatory narrative that deliberately ignores the catastrophic failure and the chorus of condemnation from the very owners of this democracy, the Namibian electorate and their political representatives. They are the owners of the elections we had in 2024 and not ECN. The ECN has a statutory duty to consult stakeholders. We acknowledge that prior to the elections, they went through the motions, they held meetings like one in Hadab region, and they orchestrated photo opportunities for the signing of codes of conduct. But, Honorable Speaker, consultation before an event is meaningless if there is no accountability after it. The ECN's attempt to present the final report without the comprehensive post-election input of political parties in a gross dereliction of duty and is an insult to this Parliament and the nation. The 2024 election was arguably the most controversial in our post-independence history. The ECN's management was a case study in incompetence, if not outright malice. The world watched as voting was marred by malfunctioning voters, identification tablets, and critical shortage of ballot papers, creating disgracefully long queues and disfranchising an untold number of voters. The ECN unilaterally decision to extend voting over multiple days was of dubious legality and created widespread confusion and suspicion. This move was criticized by international observers, with the African Union Observers Mission giving the ECN a transparency score of just 50%. The ECN itself has acknowledged the deliberate acts of misinformation and allegations made to tarnish our image. I quote, "Yet this report does not transparently address these allegations and clear the air. By ignoring them, the ECN only fuels the very distrust it claims to want stop." This report is an effort because it's an affront because it ignores the voices of the main contestants, the Independent Patriots for Change, IPC, the official opposition in this House, along with other political parties such as LPM, Landless People Movement, and others who have categorically rejected the election's legitimacy and pledged to challenge its results in the court. For the ECN to compile a report on the election without formally incorporating the detailed grievances and evidence is not just arrogant, it is complicit in cover-up. The ECN is and must always remember the administrator of the electoral process is the administrator of the electoral process. It is a servant of the democracy, not its master. The true owners of the electoral process are the Namibian people who delegated their authority to the political parties we represent in this chamber. This report treats these owners as mere subjects, their experiences as irrelevant inconveniences. This is not merely an administrative failure, it is a profound political crisis when the referee ignores the players and declares the game a success despite visible faults. It destroys the very sport itself. This report risks doing permanent damage to the credibility of our entire democratic system. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, our position as the IPC is clear and non-negotiable. We outrightly reject the fraudulent report by ECN. We therefore demand that the ECN immediately withdraw this current report from the consideration of the National Assembly, convene an urgent, transparent, and inclusive stakeholder forum with all political parties that participated in the 2024 elections to receive their formal detailed submission on the electoral process. Compile a new legitimate report that faithfully reflects these submissions, including a chapter dedicated to the dissenting views and evidence complaints of all parties, all political parties. Honorable Speaker, we also demand that they publicly account for the logistical failures. Yes. Honorable Speaker. I'm done. I'm almost done. Yeah. Publicly.
Yeah, okay, honorable member, can you take a seat? I want to hear what you are saying. I can't hear you when you are speaking together. Is it a point of order you are making? Okay, make a point of order. Yeah. Yeah, can the honorable member please?
Yes, honorable Speaker, according to the standing rules and orders under Rule 85, the Speaker has 10 minutes on a report. And he was only allocated 5 minutes and then it was reviewed, so the Speaker still has time.
Under which report?
Committee reports.
Yeah, that is the challenge. Okay, let me make a ruling, You may take your seat. That's a challenge that we are faced with because I looked at that. So I try to be lenient just because he's leader of official opposition under the part that says a presiding officer has the discretion to extend the time limit allocated to any matter by not more than an additional 5 minutes. But the 10 minutes that the leader of official opposition has time for, it's for committee reports. Otherwise, this item falls under other matters not otherwise provided for, which gives only 3 minutes to each member. So I was exercising a discretion, but it has to wind up because time is... Yes,
I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. The fourth one, the Eastern should publicly account for the logistical failures and the legal basis for its decision to extend voting, providing full data on voter turnout per day and per constituency. We will not legitimize a sham process. We will not endorse a report that sweeps monumental failures under the carpet. The Namibian people deserve the unvanishing truth about the elections that brought us here. We will not rest until they get it. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. I now recognize Honorable Nekongo. You can adjourn. You can adjourn.
Honorable Speaker, looking at the time, I think... Honorable Speaker...
Honorable Nekongo has the floor.
Honorable Speaker, looking at the time, I want to postpone the considerations and debate until next week.
No, it's okay.
Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday.
I come again, Honorable Nekongo.
I want to, for my input, and also to continue the consideration and postpone it to Tuesday next week.
So are you proposing an adjournment? I can't hear you. Until when?
Yes.
Until when?
No, not on the report until Tuesday next week.
Until Tuesday. Yeah. So is there any objection? Agreed to. Now, honorable members, what point is the honorable member wishing to rise on?
Are you okay?
Yes, that's... Is that an objection, Honorable Klute? Honorable members, yeah. Honorable Muton, sorry.
Okay. Speaker, perhaps just for clarity, can you provide guidance if a report is rejected, right? Rejected. I want clarity to understand. To be sent back. I'm asking, can the debate on it continue?
Yes. Yeah, honorable member, when members rise to contribute to issues that are on the agenda, they can express their support or their objection to whatever is there. The discussion would continue unless if someone moves that the House should be divided so that we terminate the discussion. But the member didn't do that. He only expressed the IPC's objection to the report. So the discussions continue. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Now the House rises. It's now on automatic adjournment. The motion is adjourned until... It's time, Honorable Carola. It's time for knock-off. The House rises on automatic adjournment.